What up guys, welcome to my channel. To start things off, I have an anime rap channel called Sensei Beats, and I've posted some extremely cool anime raps there, and I'll continue to post more and more. So you should check it out. Your support and feedback would be really appreciated. Secondly, there's my Discord server as well. Now if you want to join an active otaku community where there are regular anime quizzes and all that sort of stuff, then you should definitely consider joining it. The links to both the channel and the server will be down in the description box below. Alright then, back to this video. For those of you who watch my videos, you know that the anime with overpowered main characters is literally the most talked about topic on this channel. And while this video is all about that, I've included some less well-known anime. I'm sure you'll be able to find at least a couple of anime that you haven't watched before. Also, these anime are just arranged randomly as well. There isn't any specific order to this one, okay? Well then, let's begin.
俺の一生懸命を貫けたのだろうか
The first on our list is Angkor Record of Mongol Invasion. The title of this anime indicates that it's going to be about the Mongol invasion, so you can definitely expect some extreme war and cruelty, as well as some preconceived knowledge on some hardcore historical events. That's right, this is a war story, and that's exactly what you should go in expecting from this anime. To be more precise, the story sheds light upon the Genko War that took place in the 14th century, as well as give us a new perspective on this war and samurai in general through its fictional storytelling. Be that as it may, this anime is not to be confused with the actual events that happened during that war. At the end of the day, this is still a work of fiction. I'm also not going to be specific about who the weak-looking MC is, because that would take the unexpected element out of this anime. Armed Blue Gunvolt. This is the only adaptation of a game, and it's only 21 minutes long. That's right, just 21 minutes long. But even so, the art and animation of this anime is surprisingly appealing. It just grabs your attention away from the minor flaws of the show and into the bigger picture. The story takes place in the future. There are a few people with special powers called Sevens. However, even though things look peaceful on the surface, there are some people who are doing inhumane experiments to people with special powers. Now, I'm going to be honest with this one. Okay, I'll be honest. Regardless of the fact of whether this anime is actually any good or not, you won't regret watching this 20-minute long OVA. Code Breaker. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and evil for evil, says the main character Rei Ugami. The idea that this anime tries to portray is evil. The main character is also one of those dark heroes that we don't get to see very often. As for the story, it begins like this. On a completely normal day, a girl named Sakura looks out of her bus window only to see people getting burned alive left and right with some intense blue flames. There's a boy who's completely unfazed by the situation, and he's standing over all of these people. Later, she comes back out of curiosity as well as fear to see what might have happened and how things are now. However, all the corpses, evidence, everything, it's all gone. The only trace remaining was that of a small fire. And then later, during school, there's a student transfer. A boy named Rei Ugami. Now, who might this boy be? Garo, Hono no Kokuin. Now, this anime is kind of underrated, so if it intrigues you even a little bit, you should definitely check it out. There are users of witchcraft, and they're to be hunted in the name of the king. And even after around 17 years, the hunt hasn't cooled down. In fact, more and more users are brutally hunted in the name of law and order. But what if these witchcraft users weren't as bad as people were making them out to be? What if they weren't actually the problem? It turns out that's exactly what they are. They have a strong desire to protect humans from horrifying demons, and among them is a 17-year-old alchemist called Louis Leon, who's the one who wields the legendary golden armor. He's incredibly strong and also has some grave hatred towards the kingdom. I'd say this anime is a lot about violence and other grave things, and it's definitely worth checking out. Sagrada Reset. Here's another underrated gem. The story takes place in a city called Sakurada, and it's a place where people are born with special abilities, and it's a one-of-a-kind place. The main character, Kei Asai, meets a girl named Misora Haruki, who's an antisocial girl, but who has the power to reset anything around her to a prior period in time, 3 days to be more precise. But what's interesting is that even she herself forgets ever resetting something, but because Kei Asai has a unique ability of his own, he never forgets anything. So after getting acquainted with each other, they join the service club to aid other people. But little did they know just how far their little club is gonna go. Even the administration bureau that ensures law and order in the city asks them to complete some major missions. Now, why would they do that? And what is it that they're after? Lord of Vermilion. In the year 2030, some high-frequency sounds pop up in Tokyo along with red fog, and those who hear those sounds, be they animals or humans, they lose their consciousness. Seeing all of this, the city goes into emergency mode. The authorities command to shut down everything. They say that a mysterious pandemic is on the loose, and there's no telling what will happen next. So it's time to prepare for the worst. Be that as it may, 6 days later, everyone who lost consciousness now wakes up, and the city goes back to normal. So, was it all just a prank, or is there really a mysterious pandemic lurking around in Tokyo? I'd say, depending on how much you like action, this could be a very good watch for you. The art and animation is also relatively good. However, the downside of this one is that both the story and the characters are kind of vague. Watch this if you have nothing else to watch. Sirius the Jaeger. I don't understand why almost all of the anime by PA Works are so underrated. Is it because the studio is known for making original anime instead of adapting an already popular manga? Even so, all of the anime I've ever watched by this studio are always just so refreshing, wholesome, and sometimes even downright depressing. This one is also an anime original by PA Works, and while I admit that this is no masterpiece, it is still a very good anime. The story takes place in the year 1930 when vampires are on the loose. The one who keeps them in check are the warriors called Jaegers. But just like how vampires are merciless, Jaegers may be humans, but they're also monsters who bestow the most gruesome deaths on these vampires. The main character, Yuli, is one of these skilled warriors who has some extreme hatred for the vampires because a few years ago, they raided his hometown and killed everyone left, right, and center. But even though revenge is the only focus for Yuli, and he's also strong enough to kick some vampire ass, he still cares about his friend, and that makes this anime all the more worth watching. Jibaku Shonen Hanako-kun. The main character, Hanako-kun, is an interesting guy. He lurks around in the girls' toilet that's located on the 3rd floor of the school's old building. Now, the students know a bit about him, but they think he's a girl that haunts that bathroom, and it's also one of the 7 wonders of their school. Some students even started spreading some rumors that if someone successfully manages to encounter her, she'll grant them any wish. So every once in a while, students try summoning her, but she just never appears. Until the day when an adorable girl named Nene tries to look for this ghost, thinking that she can wish for her feelings to be returned by her crush. She actually encounters it and even discovers that the ghost is actually a boy. Now that's how the anime begins, but it isn't anything like a romance anime. Instead, it's more like a supernatural shonen adventure where they go around solving mysteries and discovering the truth behind them. While it may explore supernatural elements, it still manages to stay wholesome. I'd say it's one of those anime that can be recommended to just about anyone. Gunjo no Magmel. Now here's an interesting one. Suddenly a new continent pops up and it's ready to be explored by people, and the name of this continent is Magmel. As you can guess, everyone's genuinely interested in this new continent, but since it's new, there's no telling what people they might find there. So in order to sustain the expeditions, people known as anglers come into the scene to protect the people from Magmel's wildlife. One such angler is Iniu, who's a skilled professional. Together with his assistant Zero, he performs search and rescue operations for people, and that's just about it for the plot. You have this new continent suddenly pop up out of nowhere, and then you have people who go exploring it. Does that sound interesting to you? If it does, you should definitely check this one out. The story does go kind of downhill in the later episodes though.
Okay, 勝負はバッチリ。逃げられるものなら逃げてみろってんだ。
Hitori no Shita. This one's a Chinese anime, but the Japanese dub is also available, so feel free to go with whichever one you want. Now, the story goes like this. The main character, Zhang Chulan, was in the graveyard trying to pay a visit to his grandma's grave, but then some zombies appear out of nowhere and start attacking him. The situation was obviously not very comfortable for him. Fortunately, though, he gets saved by a mysterious girl who's wielding kitchen knives, and she stops the zombies using these knives, tells him something, and then leaves. However, Chulan sees the girl again at his university. A few more characters also come onto the scene, and then from there on out, it's all about mysteries and action. It's also got some spot-on hilarious comedy too. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and leave a comment. And if you're new to the channel, you should consider turning that red subscribe button grey. I post regular content like every 2 days or so, so it's definitely worth it. Well then, I'll see you guys next time on my next video, and until then, stay safe and watch anime.